Hello, friends and foes. Happy Tuesday. Last live stream before the Arnold. So it's a real good body prep day. You can see what the last sort of gym work looks like. Perfect world, I would repeat something very similar to this on Thursday, the day before contest. But let's talk about what we're doing. We're going to warm up hinges. I'm doing 5x10 RDLs, not really much weight at all. Doing Theragun, hamstring, and calves in between. Hips, I'm going to do 5x5 deep squats, working on hip external and internal rotation in between. Theragunning my knees. Then core, I'm going to do 5x20 on the ab wheel. Shoulders in wrap, 3x30 external rotation, just to feel freed up when I have a bar on my back. Lastly, overhead mobility, 3x30 second overhead holds, where I'm just going to stand here, find that balance point, hold for 30 seconds, and do pec releases in between each of those holds. So I will have plenty of time to say hello to you guys today. I will not be overly exertive, but I think this could give you a really good idea of what you could be doing for your last sessions before either shows or really heavy gym lifts. And without further ado, let's say hello, get a rain going, and kick into it. I've chosen grout fit for today. What do you think?
You've chosen what?
Grout fit?
Oh, nice. Like Walmart outfit.
Walmart outfit?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You just need like gray sweatpants, gray hoodie. That's my Walmart outfit.
I like to see that you think the gay stuff's okay.
No, like the vibe, the gray. The gray is the Walmart vibe. I can't be the only one.
If you want a Walmart outfit, check out lhbk.shop for all your grays.
Cute banner. All right, you want to kick off with a question?
Go for it.
Okay. So we have one here from Factory Stage. For the elephant bar, do you have a strategy in terms of technique and setting up to the bar? Is your stance different from a stiff bar? Any different cueing? If so, how and why?
Yeah, it's minor. The first thing I'll say is the elephant bar, it is not harder. It is easier. The whip is talked about too much. I find every time there's a slightly new piece of equipment, people will have reasons as to why they're not as good on that. And really, I find the elephant bar easier. So square that away. Second, generally speaking, the stiffer a bar is, the more narrow you're going to want your feet, because that's going to help with the drive off the ground. So you'll notice my axle setup is slightly narrower than, say, my elephant bar setup, but only to a small degree. You'll only be able to see it if I tell you about it. You're not really going to look at me deadlift on one thing and another thing and see a difference in technique. The only big thing with the elephant bar and with the whip is it's sort of like the bar hits you, or the weight hits you twice. Where first you get the slack out the bar, and only after that do you then get hit by the weight and then pull. So the only real different thought when I'm training for the elephant bar or lifting on the elephant bar is that just be patient, hold your position, and things will be all right.
So Chris is wondering what length shorts you're wearing.
These are the 6-inch. These aren't the small ones. I really like the small ones though. But yeah, I like the day-to-day 6 inches, leg day, or showing off, or swimming, or summer 3 inches.
So this next question, did you see Tom's latest training video? I wonder whether he is holding some of his best footage back.
Yeah, look, I have seen it. And Doesn't look very good, but it really only matters on competition day. That's it. So, yeah, I don't get wrapped into social media a whole lot. I was talking about this with Luke. When people think that I'm playing mind games or I'm like putting something out strategically or whatever, like Alicia's the one who posts on social media and she doesn't know who half of my competitors are yet. It's like to think that she knows the competitors well enough to know what I'm going to post to mess with them to like, no, I just think, honestly, let's put our best stuff out there because it will make our lives better. Because putting really good viral training clips up is going to draw more eyes to the sport, is going to go viral, is going to have people more excited about what we're doing. It's almost like, would you rather be third in a sport that is huge or be the best because you've gained some sort of imaginary advantage by posting bad training content? So I don't think that's what Tom's doing. I think my only guess is either he's not in the shape that he would have hoped to be, or he brought his videographer out on a day that happened to be a bad day, which we all have them, and your videographer is there, you've shot the content, you don't want to waste their time, so you'll just put something together and put it out. I've had to do that before as well. So it's one of those two things. Ultimately, it doesn't matter to me because if Tom comes ready, I'm coming ready. If it's not Tom, someone else is going to come ready. So I'm just focused on me and what I have to do. And hopefully Tom brings his best and hopefully everyone brings their best and we have a good show.
And a super chat here from BDI for deadlift PR. What percentage should my last warm-up set be?
I would say about 90%. That's a big jump for sure. But if you're not talking powerlifting meet and you're just talking, I want a single new best lift, I would say 90%, which is something you could do for 4 reps. So for me, if I wanted to hit 1,000 pounds, my last lift would be, say, just over 900. That being said, I won't do that in comp because that would be dumb. Like you're leaving all of those potential points on the board. And so in comp, if I wanted to lift 1,000, I'll open at low mid 900s and go from there. Now on these, I'm going to change my stance up every set, literally just for a different stretch. There's nothing to it other than I'm changing my feet, changing the angle. I'm not needing to tick off certain angles, just different for different sake. Two down.
So this next question is from Rob. Do you think I can still build muscle going to the gym 3 times a week due to my work schedule?
It depends how trained you are. But as a broad answer, like yes, the vast majority of people could go to the gym 3 times a week and do really well. The main thing with building muscle is training at huge intensities. So go as close to failure as you feel comfortable. And that should be your primary goal, primary objective. And if you do that 3 times a week, should be fine.
And then a question from Twitch over here. So this is from the Scrabble Face. Hey, dude, how did you find the Strongwoman documentary?
Yeah, they put out a Strongwoman documentary. There was I was with Chloe, Lucy, and Andrea. I thought it was pretty good. I really appreciated particularly Lucy's vulnerability in it, and just shining some light on day-to-day life of what Strongwoman is. And at the moment, it's a sport that requires all of the girls to have other jobs and other responsibilities and other things. So I thought it was cool how it showed the sort of celebrity side to it, the everyday side to it. I like that. So yeah, all in all, I think it was pretty good. I'm happy I watched it.
And this next one, I'm an American college basketball player doing a strength program concurrent with my off-season training. Do you have any tips for running a strength program alongside practice for a sport?
For sure. Since it's off season, I mean, you have the right idea. Like off season is the time to try to do it. I would definitely say for basketball, focus on the things that are actually going to make a difference. So I would almost unanimously say a lot of upper body work would be a bad idea for a basketball player, depending, of course, on your position. But let's say you rely at all on your shooting and you gain 5% tricep strength in the off season. Well, like your shot's going to feel so weird when you try to be good. And if you have a sore upper body, even off season practice, like you'll be so all over the shop. So the big things that make a difference in any sort of contact sport is core strength and lower body strength. So I'd say focus on those two things in a big way. Squats, deadlifts, for basketball and any sort of team sport, especially repeated sprint sports, working on some rotation and anti-rotation, but at very high intensities. Like I'm not talking throw a 1 kilo med ball against the wall as hard as you can. I'm talking like get the full weight stack going and try to hold that in a pal off press and get proper strong in the off season. More generally speaking, the biggest mistake people make when doing training for their sport is they try to make training look like their sport, in which case like just go play. And so yes, quarter squats are going to be the thing that's most replicated in basketball, but like do reasonable 3/4 depth squats. You know, in basketball, you're going to be between here and here virtually the entire time, but squat down to there and get strong in extra ranges of motion and get that buffer. And make your gym work have a gym purpose and your court work have a court purpose. Now, those can cross over, but if your training starts to look like basketball, like you're doing it wrong. Use the gym to get strong. Use basketball to get better at basketball, which strength will help you. Oh. 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 Stretching is so uncomfortable.
So this one here is from Josh. Is your app and Laws's app competing or collaborating apps?
We're not the same. No, they're not the same. But mine's going to be very different to any other apps. I don't know too much about Laws's, but I would imagine it's going to be like exercise library, some programs on there, stuff like that. Where mine, I want you to have the ability for me to coach you on the spot to assist you with what you're already doing. And so if you were coached by Laws, let's say, but he doesn't respond 24/7 to absolutely everything you have to say, you can hop on my app, punch in, you can pop in your workout and say, how long would this workout take to complete? And it'll tell you. You could say, what should I be thinking about when I do log press? It will pop in a video of me talking about that. You can say, what should my rest times be for heavy squats? It will give you that. So more of those daily corrections to assist what a one-on-one online coach already does.
So then we have a super chat here from the Slack. Deadlift going well, but hamstrings are not sore after a heavy day. What am I doing wrong? Back and quads feel the effort.
Nothing. It happens when you're trying to get strong. We're not thinking about what muscles are sore. We're thinking about the movement. So maybe there's a movement error, but maybe there's not. Maybe your quads and low back are the strong parts of you, and you're using those to leverage yourself, leverage your own strengths to lift the most weight. I can't remember the last time my hamstrings were sore after a deadlift day. I can't remember the last time my quads were sore after a deadlift day. It's really like a big deadlift day will get my low back sore. Like that's just how I work. So you can look at low back and quads, say, okay, how can I get them stronger and more resilient and robust so they don't feel sore? That can be a really good course of action because it's a total catch-22. Say your quads and back are sore. Okay, well, it could be because you're relying too much on them and your technique is off, or it could be because your technique is fine, but they're your weak points. And so it's sort of impossible to give concrete, direct advice on that other than don't worry about it too much. We're not going for soreness. We're not bodybuilders. The best way to improve your technique in something is to do more of it. Focus on that and your deadlift should get better.
So then this next one's from Pete. How do you strategize eating before heavy lifts or competition lifts? Eat like an hour before, 90 minutes before, so you have the energy, but not enough to hinder your performance?
Yeah, look, most of that is going to be determined by what you eat the day before. And on the day, you're mostly managing your blood sugar levels. So there's no sense in having protein before a day of competing. I mean, I will because it's satiating, but in terms of the macronutrient, it's really doing nothing for you. So a really good big meal the night before. Then it just depends on when contest is. Like, I think it's one area that I'm looking to improve the most this year when it comes to competition day is my intra-competition nutrition. And the best advice I can give is just keep it as simple as possible, easy to digest foods, carbohydrate heavy, but not sugar. Go with your rice cakes, your crackers, stuff like that. And that way you won't create these huge peaks and valleys in your blood sugar. Same reason I give that advice with caffeine. You can use it at the right times, but using that as your primary source of energy for a 5-hour competition, let's say, you're gonna go up and then you're gonna crash. So yeah, that's the best advice I could give.
And then this one's from Peyton. I'm starting to train for the Murph challenge, doing super high volume, like 10 by 10s. Do you have any tips for maintaining top end strength while trying to increase my muscular endurance?
They're a little bit juxtaposed. So accept that you're going to be in a bit of a different state. I would say instead of trying to keep 1 rep max, train muscular endurance with hypertrophy. So do some of your sets up in the 20 to 30 range, some of your sets in the 10 range, and work to relatively high intensity. That way you're going to maintain the engine you require to lift big weight, but you're not going to have 2 training goals so opposite from each other that they're going to start working against each other. Murph is horrible though. Looks horrible.
So this next one, for the majority of the season, do you have pain issues or do you compete without any pain?
I'm in pain more often than not. Like something is always in pain. Yeah, this prep, my left knee was really bothering me. What else? There was something else. My back at the end of last year. My groin, I tore that a year and a half ago. It's still tight. Like when I squat, I still feel that the most. So it's the performance and health kind of spectrum. I train to perform. I don't train to be healthy. Therefore, I don't expect myself to feel good, and I just kind of accept it. All of you will fall somewhere on that spectrum, but you have to accept the trade-offs that come with that. You want to be healthy, you're not going to be an animal. You want to train to be an animal, you're going to feel like an animal, and animals often feel wounded. I will say, though, I think this is the least pain I've been in a long time. I've come good at the right time. Whew. 4 down, 1 to go.
So super chat here from Joe. Tips for max 18-inch silver dollar deadlift, please.
Well, the bar bends so much, closer you can get your hands, the better off you are. Then, depending on how tall you are, once the bar gets over your knees, get your knees under the bar so you can be really vertical, and it's more of a pop yourself up rather than a hinge yourself up. Because if you go this motion on silver dollar, it's likely that things start to swing. So the more vertical you can make yourself, the better off you're going to be. Then with any elevated deadlift, the best piece of advice is just patience. It's going to feel at max weight like it's going to take many seconds to get off the floor. But if you watch your videos back, you'll see, yes, it did take a second or two to get off the floor, and then it moved completely fine. Accept that that's going to be a thing. And yeah, my mental game on those is always to start pulling, intend to pull for 5 seconds as hard as you can, regardless of what happens. And at 5, you've either stood it up or it's time to give it up.
So this one's from Cody. What's your best advice for my first strongman competition on March 15th?
Have fun. Don't worry about winning. Don't worry about PBing. Just go have fun. Try your hardest, and that's it. Too many people are concerned with hitting their PBs in comp and where they place and blah, blah, blah. But you don't know how you're going to respond when it comes to a competition like that and when the pressure is on. And if your only metric of success is how much weight you lift, then it leaves it in a spot where you can do one comp and absolutely hate it because you didn't win or you didn't PB. So go have fun, get stuck into the community. The result will be what it is. And yeah, take pride in your training and your effort and leave the rest up to whatever higher power would like it to be.
So this one is from Ramirez. He's wondering when you are going to the UK. Can't wait to get a photo with you. He already has one with Eddie and Big Z, and he's a big fan.
Next time I'm in the UK is for the Royal Albert Hall in July. Giants Live Royal Albert Hall. So I think it's sold out, but I'm there for that. I'm there for Birmingham. I'm there for, and Birmingham will be the Deadlift World Champs. I'll be there for Giants Live World Tour Finals. And if the Arnold UK happens this year, then I will likely be there for that as well.
And then from Ken Lay, hey Mitch, I have an Atlas stone run for my beginner's comp coming up. I have a 30-kilogram sandbag and basically nothing else. Any ideas how to train it and strengthen biceps?
It's not really biceps. Like if you have good tacky, it's not biceps. But I broke the Australian Atlas stone record without training Atlas stones by focusing on stiff leg deadlifts and Zercher squats. If you can get really strong in those two movements, that's the prerequisite you need. Otherwise, it's relatively intuitive. Like you pick up the stone, you hug it, you get your hands under it as far as you can, you get your hands around the stone and you stand it up. It's really as simple as that. Your 30-kilo sandbag will not be of use to you, so don't worry about that. Worry about your deadlifts and your Zercher squats. All right, last set here. Beautiful. Done.
So next question, will you be doing meet and greets?
Yes, I will be. I'll be at LHBK booth quite a bit after each day of competing. And then I'll do all day on Sunday. I'm at different booths. I'll be at Rain for a while, LHBK for a bit. I'll be at Rogue. I'll be at Airwave. I'll be at Mutant. So we'll put something out. If you're following me across socials, you'll be able to see it with all of my actual times. But yeah, I'll be all over the place on Sunday. And I try to make myself as available as possible throughout. Like, I don't find that 1 hour of meet and greet after competition on Friday is going to change my performance whatsoever. So I'm happy to do it and come say hello to whoever wants to say hello.
Okay, this one's from George. Hey, Mitch, would you recommend your program if I can only commit to training 2 days a week from my garage? Limited equipment, barbell and dumbbells, plus 1 day training on the strongman gym.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The program is kind of the least important element of any training regimen. And it's not a popular thing to say because a lot of people make a lot of money off it, but any reasonably structured program will get you reasonable results. To me, the beauty and the skill is in how you progress things week over week and what you're learning along the way. So that's why I include education as a part of anything that I sell and why I dictate progressions all the way along. And to me, that's the most important. So if you say you got strongman off season, well, you could pick one upper day, one lower day, do each of those, progress those along, and then on the strongman day, do that when you go to the strongman gym. And then you could then repeat the program by doing the other upper body, other lower body day that you haven't hit yet. And then there you go, 6 months of training sorted.
And then while we're on program talk, so this one's from Matt. Hi, Mitch, just finished your powerlifting peak program. I had a 20 kilogram personal best on both squat and deadlift,
Nice.
as well as a 30 kilogram PB double overhand deadlift. Any tips on what to do next?
Retire. Yeah, I assume he's talking program-wise. So if you've done powerlifting peak, I would go into more of a muscle building hypertrophy block for sure. So you could go power building or you could go muscle building, depending. If you want to keep doing heavy compound lifts, power building is a great one. That's the most popular one that I have. And then if you want to just have a total change in stimulus, say you've been training strength, pure strength for quite a while, but hop over to the muscle building and you can go do some bodybuilding for a few months, which is always useful. All right, 5x5 deep squat.
So Jace has entered the chat with some gifted memberships.
Jace, we're back in action. Hope you're doing well, mate. For those who haven't checked out Jace's channel, go ahead and do that. I assume, Jace, you can let us know. I assume we'll be doing some coverage on the Arnold as well.
So we have a super chat here from John. Hi, Mitch. For a bunch of reasons, the best time to work out is right after evening family dinner. Any strongman hacks for heavy workout after a big meal?
Wear your belt loose. It's really hard. Like, it is a major challenge. But perhaps you could have a small dinner with family, set aside a larger quantity of food, then eat a bit, spend time with your family. When everyone's done, go ahead and train. After you're done training, grab the last, say, half of your dinner. And then it's a good way as well, assuming you have somewhat young kids, based on that description, then they're going to start to learn that you only eat half of your meal with them because you're going to go exercise and eat half of your meal after. And then those lessons that you're teaching your kids by accident are like how to refuel your body, and exercise being a priority and spending time with family being a priority. I think that, to me, that would be the best of all worlds, if at all possible.
And another super chat here. This one's from Marcus. Why do you think Tom's training looked bad?
Well, it just did. Like the weights that he was lifting is, I would have expected him to be doing more. But am I taking this as any sort of sign of what shape he'll be in at the Arnold? Like, not really. Like, it's just a YouTube video, and YouTube video is like the smallest window into your training possible. So, I'm not putting a whole lot of weight behind it. But for those who haven't seen it, he deadlifted 405, and it was very difficult. So it looked like maybe 410 to 415 might be his max. That won't be a good result in this lineup. He did, what else did he do? His overhead medley didn't look very good. He was using a 180 log. We're using a 195 in comp. And the 180 log looked relatively hard. But again, who knows? Like, maybe he was having an off day. I don't think he's playing games. I think it was just a day he brought his videographer out. They shot a video. The biggest mistake he could ever make is looking too much into it. I know sometimes I'll put out a training video or whatever. Like, literally my knee is sore that one day and that's it. But like, everything looks terrible because my knee was sore that day. And so I didn't have power for overheads, and everything's grindy and awkward and blah, blah, blah. So like, yeah, I expect Tom to turn up in good shape, and I'm not paying too much attention to that video other than watching it out of interest. And to be honest, I think that's the only video I've watched from any other guy the whole prep. I really don't consume that much content. If you guys know how much content I put out, you can imagine that most of my day is involved with getting more content for myself to put out, not watching what other people are up to.
So this next one's from Cody. I'm sure you've got this a lot. This is my first Arnold I'm attending. I'm only there Friday. I hope I get a chance to meet you. You have been a huge inspiration to me and making fitness fun. I know you had a post before, but are you going for the 501 kilogram deadlift with Thor?
No, I won't be. I'm not in shape to do that. I'm not strong enough to do that right now. And I don't think it's just certainly not required for me to win the whole show to have to do that. So no, I get a lot more out of a suit than Thor does. So that's why I think I can challenge the standard record in a suit on a normal bar. I also get a lot of power off of the floor. So the more a bar bends, the less advantageous it is for me. So you put those together, a prep for a deadlift specifically, and I think that's sort of the perfect storm for me to be able to do it. So I'm going to be watching Thor for sure do his deadlift.
So this super chat's from Jace. I need you to win this weekend or it throws off my entire year's predictions. LHBK shirts being worn all around town. Will be live streaming this weekend.
I'd love to know his predictions for the year. Oh, if me winning the Arnold is a major prediction, I assume he's predicted me to win every major show. No pressure. Which, you know, based on history, it would be the most likely bet if you wanted to bet on something crazy happening, but I still think it's very unlikely to happen. We're all human. And last year, I think I was as close to not human as I'm ever going to be. But one at a time, we'll see. I think I'm in shape to win this weekend. And I'll do my best to keep that up for the whole year.
And this one's from Andrew. Do you find multitasking like this live, for example, hinders your strength? Or are you able to just switch on easily?
No, not at all. I'm fine. It's all the same to me. The one thing I found it threw me off when I was trying to do split jerks because I have to think harder for that one. But like deadlifting, no. I was on a members only live when I deadlifted 425 at, I would say maybe a 7.5 out of 10 effort. It really wasn't that hard. So no, it doesn't bother me. And it's quite nice to have company and stuff to do while I'm resting, to be honest.
So Bass is doing an Ultra Viking in September. It's a 60-kilometer obstacle course through sand, mud, water. Would you consider doing such an event after Strongman?
Maybe. But I'm more a person who needs like a big thing, like to say, I've done this. When I'm done with my life, I want to go like, I've run marathons. I've done a bodybuilding show. I've completed an Ironman. On. Where the sort of like obscure, unique stuff, I don't get off on it as much because I don't like things that require an explanation as large goals. So would I go endurance route, like ultra endurance route? Absolutely. And I have plans to do that. But would I do like, say, a Badwater ultra marathon or something like that? Or like insane obstacle course? Probably not. But you never know. My squat depth is not good.
Pardon?
My squat depth, like genuinely, it's about as far as I can get down what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Still better than the 17-year-old picture.
Still better than that.
Okay, so super chat here from Brandon. My goal is to compete in a weight class, stalling on weight loss. What do you suggest to as far as diet? Train 3 days a week and run 4 days a week, Current?
Really, like, it's just an energy game. Like, just eat less food is the only thing. And how to do that is a major question. And it's such an art. And it's not as simple as that's the beginning and the end of the story. But it is the thing that you'll never get around. So find a way to eat less food. Find a way to expend more energy. And just experiment is the best advice I could give. Different things work for different people. For me, I know that if I want to lose weight, then like I just won't eat before midday, and then I eat normally after that, and that tends to do it for me because my habits. Like if I tried to stop myself from eating at night, I'm gonna have a disaster because I'm gonna get so hungry and I'm just gonna eat everything I possibly can. But some people are the opposite, and they find that that's a great way to cut out calories and time. So it's really what works for you individually. But I wish I had some sort of hack for you. But that's it. That's physics. That's energetics.
And then Pradium would like to know, why do you think you were less of a human last year compared to this one?
Oh, I just mean that last year, like nothing, my hands tore at Worlds, sure. But other than that, like nothing went wrong. I just wasn't injured. I was never sick. I never just made a dumb mistake. I never did things that would be very normal for a person to do, regardless of how athletically capable they are. So I'll continue to try to do that for sure. And to be honest, at Rogue, I don't think I was very good compared to what I can be. So yeah, in that, I was still good enough. So yeah, that's it. I feel the same. I feel as capable. I feel as confident. I feel great. But stuff happens all the time. Like literally, you eat something bad the night before a comp, you have diarrhea, and like your performance goes down 5%. Like then you don't win a show. Well, like, is that because you're not a good strongman or you didn't prepare or whatever? Like, no. And that's what I mean. Like all of the other things just went right for me. And that's what I need to continue happening to continue on the streak that I am. And that's why I'm more proud of a podium streak than I am of, of any sort of win streak. I think the win streak's at 5 now, 5 or 6. But regardless, if you show up in shape to win, you will almost certainly podium. And that's always my goal, is just podium every single time I step on the floor. What is my streak at the moment? I won the Strongest Man on Earth, Giants Vegas, Giants Birmingham, Giants Scotland, and the Invitational. I think I'm at 5. Oh, and Royal Albert Hall. I'm at 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one's from Be Strong. Mitch, I hope you're doing well. I'm curious, what's your favorite strongman competition, and who is your favorite strongman from the past? Wishing you the best of luck at the Arnolds.
Favorite strongman competition to compete in right now is the Arnold. I think they do a really good job. They communicate really well. They treat us as people, and like there's still a nice family vibe to it. Yeah, that's what I would say. Strongest Man on Earth is good, but it's just I'm very vocal about this, and I think Brian is fine with me saying it. Like it is such a killer show that anyone who says it's their favorite is insane, because you just know you're in for a lot of punishment. Which that's strongman. I really have no problem with it. It's just full on. Rogue Invitational is just it's very formal. Again, it's not a problem. And I think they have a lot more to organize with the CrossFit athletes and with the strongmen. But it sort of is more of like you're a number type of vibe, which I don't like as much, obviously. And then Worlds is Worlds. I think we all know what's going on there. Okay, these are going to be so deep, you're not even going to believe it. You believe that?
Wow.
Oh, power boost.
So super chat from Dalton Mason. Hey Mitch, if you feel like getting stomped at ping pong this year, let me know. Of course, only if you're in the same rental as last year.
Yeah, we're not in the same rental, but we'll see what's going on.
Did he stomp you in ping pong?
No. We were just playing ping pong. And it was on our YouTube videos. It was in the basement of the Airbnb. Yeah.
And then Pete's just wondering what you have on the bar right now for weights.
That's just 135. And that's about it. Anytime you put any sort of significant weight on your body, there's a sympathetic response. And that's what I can't have right now. So it's all relaxed. It's all moving easy. It's just stay moving, stay fit, be an athlete, and get the body ready. These are my least favorite weeks of the year, though, by the way. I absolutely hate not being able to train. Like the best part of my life is I get to train as a job. And they're like, oh, but not now. Yeah, thanks. That's awesome.
Well, Regan is wondering, is this session a deload before competition? Is this how you do all deloads, or is a pre-comp extra chill?
I would say I'm done my deload. I'm post it. So yesterday, for example, I pressed a 195 log. I shouldered a 160 stone. I was still working pretty hard yesterday. So I take very short deloads, or not deloads, I should say. I don't know. Very short time before comp to actually chill out. So it's just really one time today, and I'll do some movement like this the day before comp, and that's it. But I think largely deloads I think they're too long. I think people get a bit lazy towards the end of their prep. And, if you're talking you're 3 weeks out starting to taper things down, I still have another week and a half of my hardest training. And obviously that's been a positive thing for me. All right, this is probably the only hard thing I'll do. 5x20-ish on my new ab wheel. I broke my other one, which is a very frustrating and sad day.
There were a lot of comments on socials that you needed a bigger wheel.
Oh, yeah?
And then you broke that one.
Well, I got a smaller wheel to show them who's boss. I'll run my life. Thank you.
So we have a super chat from Lockoman. What are your thoughts on rehab for a slipped disc? My PT has me doing light deadlifts and Jefferson curls. Any other things you'd recommend?
Well, if you have a slipped disc, depends on your imaging, but Jefferson curls, if you're still in pain, is probably a bit full on. Regardless, your physio sounds like he's pro movement, which is great. That's how you should be. A slipped disc is like any other injury. Avoid what causes pain. Do things that don't. Get yourself stronger and understand that it will heal itself over time. That's how the body works. Unless you've been in some sort of catastrophic car accident, your spine's in one piece, your discs are in one piece, they will go back and you will become asymptomatic. So just control the progressions, strengthen your core. In fact, I love the ab wheel for that. Yeah. We've got new hoodies that will be at the Arnold. These guys. And if you're on the mailing list, you'll have access to them as well. But if you're not, you won't. So you can get on the mailing list in a variety of ways. Easiest way, if you go to moosecoaching.com and you get any free program, you are added to our mailing list. Go ahead and do that. They will be sold out by the end of the weekend, 100%. So pop onto the mailing list and get yours while they're around. That's not a marketing thing. 100%. You will never see those guys on the website. They just will not be. They will not be around after the Arnold. For those going to the Arnold, I was talking to the CEO a couple of days ago of the Arnold, and it is shaping up to be crazy. They're expecting approximately 20% increase in foot traffic this year over last, 20% more tickets sold. And if you were there last year, you would know that like it gets pretty jammed up. So yeah, it should be a party. I'm really excited. All right, set 2. Two down, 1 to go.
So this question's from Sean. Mitch, you're looking super strong. What event at the Arnold's do you expect to surprise everyone with?
Surprise.
Not a surprise if you tell them.
I don't think anything I do is a surprise anymore. Like, I don't know how to gauge my drag versus other guys, but when I was training with Luke, I was doing a drag with him, and we loaded the sled up to 1,000. I pulled it for 15 meters, no problem. He pulled it. He went maybe 5 or 6 and said, like, that's insane. Then I put him on the sled. So took the sled to about 1350, and I managed to get that 7 meters, and that was holding ropes, not handles. So I think that should be really good. But really, like, is anyone going to be surprised if I do something good? I think the only surprise left is if I mess something up. My stone to shoulder will be up there with anyone. I can guarantee that. But people are probably expecting that anyway. So yeah, I think my method of victory is obvious and consistent, and it's in the consistency in that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to try to win. I'm not sure there's going to be many surprises. I do think I'm more capable on deadlift than people might believe me to be. I pulled 445 in 2023. I pulled 431 in 2024. And that put me in second in 2023 and third in 2024. But both of those were tactical. I had more. And last year, I pulled 431 after I tore my groin in January. I didn't have a single deadlift session from the floor. So this year in prep, I pulled 425 easier than I pulled 410 last year. So we're going, okay, plus 15 kilos easier. That means that arguably 446 should move easier than 431. On the day, I probably had 440 in me at max out last year. And so I think this year I could be 455 to 465, but time will tell, and I'll only do what I have to do. I've never had a deadlift at the Arnold where I felt like it was in any way on the margin of what I'm capable of. I've walked up to every single deadlift bar on the elephant bar going like, yeah, I know I can do this. This is just points, secure them, walk away and be happy. It's probably more interesting how I think everyone else will surprise. I'll do event by event and do who's the positive surprise in every event after this. Surprises on each event, positive surprises. Deadlift. Who do I see being a positive surprise? And this isn't like good performance. This is a surprise because like Thor, yes. Trey, yes. Obviously, Bobby, yes. I bet Austin pulls 450, and I bet he comes third or fourth on the deadlift. Overhead medley, I think, well, maybe this is me, I don't know. Like, I've been killer on that in prep. I haven't posted any of it just because like logistically it doesn't work out well to post it, but I've been killer. So maybe me. Yeah. I'll go me on the overhead medley. Sure. There's your surprise. Frame carry. I think Tom will finish. I think that'll be a surprise to a lot of people because he never has. Big jerk. Big jerk. Could be Austin again. Maybe we see Austin at 500 pounds in the big jerk. I'll say that. The carry and drag, I bet. I'll put it out there. Nick Guardione, top 5 carry and drag. Show me what you got. I'd love to see it. I think you can. And then last one is stone to shoulder. I'm going to put Max as a surprise on stone to shoulder. I bet he'll be really good at that. So there you go. There are my expectations. My expectations for surprises to everyone else, but not me. All right, shoulders in rack, 3x30 external rotations.
So super chat from Jace. Is it more flattering to be the Michael Jordan or the Wayne Gretzky of strongman? I'm not Canadian, but you have other Canadians watching, so be careful.
Well, Canadians don't like Wayne Gretzky at the moment. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah. Because at the Four Nations hockey tournament, he came out as like Canada's honorary captain, and he came out of the American tunnel and then sort of gave a positive acknowledgement to the American players, and people felt like he didn't give the same acknowledgement to the Canadian players. So, yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. How good was that hockey tournament, though? Like, even if you weren't a hockey fan, surely that was enjoyable for whoever ended up watching it. But anyway, Michael Jordan or Wayne Gretzky? Wayne Gretzky is a much bigger compliment for sure. Michael Jordan had times in his career where he wasn't very good. Like when he went to the Wizards, he was not near what he was on the Bulls. So like there's that element of it, of like a nod to the consistency of Gretzky. But in basketball, there's a big argument of who is the best. Like some people will say Jordan, some people will say LeBron, and some people who just want to be different say that it's Kobe. And you're just saying it to be different. Like you don't believe that. Stop your nonsense. Matt, if you're watching, you're full of shit. You don't believe that. But there's no argument in hockey. If you're like, statistically, who is the best hockey player of all time? It's like Wayne Gretzky. And you're like, oh, but like, is there a contrarian view? Like, no. Like, I don't know a single person who would say it's anyone but Wayne Gretzky. So I'd say that. Put it this way. In hockey, you get a point for a goal or an assist. Wayne Gretzky is all-time leader in both. Now, if you take away all of his goals, he still leads the league all-time in points, but he has more assists than anyone else has goals and assists combined. Yeah, he was phenomenal.
This next super is from John. Hey, who has the best strongman split jerk training progression YouTube videos? Zach Thielander, Mitch Hooper, CrossFit. Good luck at the Arnolds.
Zach Thielander, Mitch Hooper, CrossFit. It ain't me. I'll tell you that much.
Zach Thielander, comma, Mitch Hooper, comma, CrossFit, question mark?
Okay. Zach puts out a lot of good information. I've done a little bit of work with Zach in the past. I'm actually going to go see him in Austin very soon. Sonny Webster has awesome information for weightlifting. Who else would I go to? I would say that's it. Like for people that I've actually used and I know, I would say those two guys. So check out Sonny Webster as well. And I've found with split jerks, it's a lot of like trial and error. And you'll use a certain cue that's supposed to be really good and like simple, but it feels horrible. And then another cue that's like sort of nothing will feel really good. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Carl's wondering, are you going to have an LHBK booth at the Arnold this year?
We have a big LHBK booth at the Arnold. We'll have it'll be literally 4 times the size of our booth from last year. So anyone going to the Arnold, make sure to come say hello. That's where I'm going to be doing my meet and greets. We're going to have like strength activations there. And so we'll have prizes every day for people who win certain strength contests. We will have, we're going to have some auctions going for competition shirts, some of which will be used for donations, which you guys know we do through LHBK. And yeah, we'll be doing a whole bunch there.
And then Justin's wondering, can you order and get those hoodies before Arnold in the US?
No. We'll be putting them out to the mailing list on, I think Cassie said on Saturday. So stay tuned, stay posted. But when you see that email, hop on them ASAP. Because if we're putting it out on Saturday, then we'll have all of Friday. Hopefully they're not sold out on Friday. Maybe we should talk. Maybe we should put them out on Thursday so online people can still get them.
It's going to go quick.
I don't know exactly how many we have, but anytime we put out Team Moose stuff, it just goes bananas. But I like to be 100% authentic and transparent. And so if my goal is to spread the message of lift heavy, be kind, of getting people exercising, then like selling Team Moose stuff doesn't really go with that as much. So you'll notice that even though I know we could do a big business on just Team Moose stuff, I really like to keep the balance there because if I don't take advantage of spreading the message when I'm relevant and competing, then no one's going to care about it when I'm done competing. So yeah, team move stuff will be always a little bit more limited, and for obvious reasons.
And then super chat here from Garage Monastery. Any update on Cerberus extra wide lever belt debut?
No update on the date itself, but the wheels are in motion. It's a bit more challenging than the soft belt, which is available for pre-order right now. So if you guys are interested in that one, go ahead and check out the Cerberus site for it. I back it. This is one where, like, in person, it will go so fast because you just have to feel it and put it on. Go like, okay, this is not Mitch tying his name to something with a different color to make a buck. This is actually better. Like, it is 100% better. I believe in that 100%. So I look forward to a lot of people getting that. With the wide belt, if I had to guess, I would say we might be 2 months out from putting that out for any sort of sale. All right, 30-second overhead hold. Could you get a timer going for me?
Okay. Whenever
Good.
you're ready. Go. Ten seconds.
10 more or 10 to go?
10 to go. 2, 1, done.
Goodness gracious. I asked you the same question. 10 more or 10 to go?
I knew what you meant.
Both.
Okay. This question here, when are you giving Thor his beard back?
Fuck. He needs it more than I do, doesn't he? My God. That is so scary. Like, I was talking to him about it. We were in Miami together. I was talking to him about it. And he's like, I have to shave my beard right before the Arnold. I'm like, come on. So he knows. He knows. We all know. Let's just pretend it's not happening.
So this next question, hey Mitch, you were a big influence getting me into lifting. I've decided to train for a marathon, but I'm 60 to 70 pounds heavier than I was when I ran. Any advice for running while heavy?
Run slow. If you run fast, even if you're fit enough to do it, you will tear your calves. So just nice and easy. Wear nice cushioned shoes. Tier makes a whole bunch of different types of shoes. I just use the R1s, like normal road shoes, but they make like specialty run shoes as well. But the key is just very slow, very intentional. Ultimately, if you're a big guy, you're not going to win a race, like any race. So don't try. Like, don't worry about it. Just easy does it. And yeah, that's it.
And then Ian McCrae has a question. I have an upcoming contest that has no deadlift event. Lame. If you were in that scenario, would you ditch deadlift training and squat twice a week?
Oh, good question. I wonder if there's a squat event. Probably. Ian McCrae, I believe, was in one of my first group coachings. I almost guarantee I'd recognize his face. I wouldn't ditch deadlift training until prep became very specific, because deadlifts are in every show except for that one, apparently. So yeah, I would keep it in for a while and then maybe drop it out in the last 3 to 4 weeks into the show, and then squat twice a week there. Not because that's going to be the best thing for the show, but because if you're prepping for, say, 10 weeks or 12 weeks, you don't want to just throw deadlifts to the side. That's such a staple strongman movement for that long. You want to stay in touch with them. It will also help you stay strong across the board. So yeah, keep them in a little bit. All right. Good for another 30?
Yep.
All good?
Yep. Five, four, three, two, one.
So good. I tore a callus a couple of days ago. I was very worried about it, but it's coming really good. So a couple of days and we'll be back to 100%.
Super chat from Jace wondering what
Yes,
smartwatch.
Jace, you're the man.
What smartwatch do you use?
This is Apple Watch. And honestly, I only use it pretty much for my steps and to be annoyed by relentless emails all the time. I would estimate I get 200 a day. And about 100 of them will be total nonsense. 20 of them will be things I've subscribed to that I didn't mean to. And 80 of them will be stuff that I'm actually needing to respond to. And then about 10 of them I respond to, and Kate responds to all the rest. Oh.
So this one from Jonas. Hello from Tennessee. Quick question regarding squat stance. Wider than shoulder width versus shoulder width. I feel like I'm stronger in a narrow stance.
It depends a lot on how your femur fits into your hip. Or I should say the head of your femur fits into your pelvis. If you have a really shallow socket, you can squat very narrow with toes forward. I can't. Like, you can tell a lot on a leg press. When I leg press, if I try with this stance, as soon as I get to about 90 degrees, my knees just they open right up in a major way, in a very provocative, seductive way, if I do say so. So depends. If you feel strong, narrow, and forward, cool, go for your life. Understanding that's going to be more quad and low back focus. The wider you are, the more you're going to get hamstrings and glutes involved. If you're talking strongman training, strongman will cross over way more with a narrow stance high bar squat than it will with any sort of low bar squat. So yeah, I would say if you want to be good at strongman, continue your narrow high bar squat, and that should provide some good results.
So this one from Sean. What recommendations can you give for training yoke carry with limited space until the weather warms up?
Squat. If you're good at squats, you're good at yoke. I have never seen someone who can squat well, who is athletic, who can't run a yoke. And if you're not athletic, start running your own body around. And if you're not good at squats, just get squatting. That's the recipe. In fact, if I was trying to make someone great at yoke, I would hardly have them touch yoke at all. Maybe once every 3 weeks. Because it's so taxing. It takes such a toll on your calves and your tibialis anterior, shin splints go rampant with squats. So add all that together and it makes a lot more sense to do it, to do your squats and things like shuttle runs.
So super chat from the Death Metal channel. Hi Mitch, successes for Arnold. Is there a difference in the preparation for the World's Strongest Man and Arnold's, or is it the same?
Yeah, big difference, to be honest. Major difference is that the Arnold is going to tend to be heavier on average. It's also a 2-day show. Worlds tends to be a little bit lighter, particularly in the heat, and it's a 4-day show. So you have to be much better conditioned going into Worlds. Like right now, I don't feel like light on my feet per se. I feel strong. I feel really strong. But if I came to Worlds in this shape right now, I would probably do well. But by day 4, my body would get beat up. I would start feeling tired. I'd start feeling sore. And I would probably die out come the final day. So yeah, bit heavier, bit stronger into Arnold's, bit lighter, bit more conditioned going into World's Strongest Man. And strongest man on earth, just pray that your body holds up in one piece.
So this one's from Zach. Would you ever be interested in competing as a weight class athlete? If so, how do you think you would do as a lighter athlete?
No, I have no interest in that. How do I think I would do though? Well, to be a weight class athlete, I need to go down to 220. 105, no, 230. I'll show you a picture of me at 230. Like, this is not a good strongman physique. You'll notice the weight class guys are all quite short. And this is the reason. All right, so say, I'll show you some of these pictures after. All right, so say this. Is that in good frame?
Yeah, you can see it, yeah.
That is me at like 245. So I would need to lose another 15 pounds. Like, I already don't look big in any way or strong in any way. So I don't imagine I'd be very good. That was like within 1 week of getting to Australia. You ready for that? I just got to Australia, and Mardi Gras was going on. And when I got to Australia, I didn't know anyone. And so I met a few people, and they were going to Mardi Gras. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds sick. And like, what do you think Mardi Gras is, Leash?
I feel like it's like a, I don't know, like a party.
Yeah, it's like, what do you imagine? Just describe it.
Drinking. I feel like those lays that you had around your neck, and
Do you know how to get those? Like the beads?
No.
If you flash, you get beads.
Okay.
So I'm like,
so you had one. Were you flashing people?
This is in New Orleans. This is Mardi Gras in New Orleans. And I'm like, amazing. Yeah, that sounds phenomenal. And then I came to learn that Mardi Gras in Australia is gay pride. I was like, right. I've committed to this situation. And I'm like, do you know, if you choose not to opt into going to gay pride, it doesn't say anything about you. Like, you're just not into it, which is 100% my case. Do not care, will not go. But once you've opted in, it's like a whole different thing to then go like, oh, actually, I feel weird about this. So like, you don't, you just kind of rock on. Like, all right. All right, last 30 seconds here. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. Felt so much better as I got freed up. It's a good lesson. So I'll take something like that. And now inform it for the big jerk. Often when I'm training, I just want to like get stuck into it and just start going. But when you have competition, you've got so much more time to do your warm-ups and preparations and on. And that's probably a big reason why I perform better in comp, because on a normal training day, when I'm doing the big jerk, I might do like 5 minutes of warm-ups, and actually Justin Medeiros sent me a nice warm-up for my overheads. So I make my way through it and I do as much as I reasonably can. But when it comes to competition day, you've got the time to actually get everything in a perfect spot. And just like anything feels a bit off, you got the time to fix that. Where in a normal training day, if I tried to cure everything that felt a bit off, I would literally never stop training, because everything, like something always feels a bit off on training days. That's it. Easy as pie. Any other chats of interest before we let the people go?
We have a super chat from Simon. He says, I tried the Mitch mustache. Girlfriend said no. Sad face.
Well, my tip for that would be get married, and then what's she going to do about it?
True.
like Ash would prefer me to not have a beard, but I feel like once you're married, you're sort of like, you have accepted that you have no choice, and so you don't really care as much. We're like, if we were dating, I should be careful. Okay, let's say you went on a first date with someone and they were like, you know, they were all right and you vibed, but like they smelled bad. You're like, I can't, like smelling bad for me is just like, it's one thing. I just can't get over it. But if you're married to someone and they smell bad, you're like, I'm not even going to bring this up, because like, I just want to be happy, and it's going to make me happier to not talk about this. And like, that's that. It's just a different attitude. So anyway, get married, grow the mustache back. She will get over it.
And then aside from that, lots of people wishing you good luck, crush it.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
Lots of support. We're
headed off tomorrow morning to Columbus, to be found in an Olive Garden near you. 100% going to as many Olive Gardens and Chick-fil-A's as possible, because they're the best places on earth. Just genuinely. Ruth Chris, if you're feeling like an absolute millionaire, but you got to win the show to feel like a millionaire. So maybe that would be my celebration meal, but I'll probably just go back to the Olive Garden, if we're being honest. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. As per always, lift heavy, be kind. If you're at the Arnolds, please stop by the LHBK booth. If you're not on the mailing list, go ahead, get one of my free programs on moosecoaching.com. That will pop you onto the mailing list to get exclusive offers from the Arnold. And if you're not a member, we're building out our exercise library right now. So go ahead, check out the members only tab. If you can't figure out how to get there, go to my channel, and it's mychannel/join. $5 a month. It's not about the money. It's just putting these things behind a paywall that I know could help you, but will absolutely murder me in the YouTube algorithm game, which is unfortunately the game we all have to play. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Wish me luck at the Arnold. We are 3 days out right now, and I am coming for my third title. 3 for 3 in my Arnold Strongman Classic career will be a pretty cool way to start things off for a good 2025. We'll see you guys soon. 1 week's time, we'll probably do another live stream. Take care.